Now, Mr. Tan, as the Group CEO and Chief Innovation Officer of the firm, could you start this off by sharing with us how you feel leading the firm in joining CLA Global? How does this strategic move benefit both your firm and CLA Global as well?
Yeah, I think as you heard from Sito, I think we are in a world that is so uncertain. I think ranging from geopolitical, of course, all of us are glued to the news about China, whatever is happening in the recent conclusion of the party and so on, and also many things that's happening, economy, and I think therefore we really need someone to do a strategy for many people, both professionally and personally. And one other consideration that we had is that we need to be one of the key leading gateway to Asia, and also to be in an organization that we can share resources, we can work better together, and also to be integrated in providing the services. Because at the end of the day, it's actually the people, in this room, there are also internal staff here that we need to create that winning opportunities for them. We need to also create the winning opportunities for our clients, and of course, very importantly, also the community that we work in, because in Singapore and in Asia, a lot of time there's a lot of interaction between the communities, the businesses, and the people. So getting into a network that is going to be more integrated and going to be sharing resources, that really excites us.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tan, for that very exciting and comprehensive overview about what we can expect in the future. I'd like to turn now to Ms. Jen Leary. Now, Ms. Leary, could you kindly tell us more about CLA's global network, and how do you see our new member that just unveiled today, CLA Global TS, how do you see it contributing to the rest of the CLA Global Network as well as your clients?
That's great. Thank you so much. And before I answer that, may I just say thank you so much for having us here as guests in this beautiful city. This is such an exciting time, and a very special thank you to you, Henry, and to Sito. It is an absolute honor to be here. So thank you for that. And the question you asked is about the CLA Global Network. And the CLA Global Network, I'm happy to introduce to many of you, is something new. It's an idea of how like-minded firms can come together and be strong, be resilient through some of the headwinds that Sito and Henry talked about. There's no doubt that there is the geopolitical risk, there's the market risk, there's a lot of things that are going on impacting our clients, our people, and our communities. So the best way is to find like-minded firms that are willing to stand strong and work on behalf of those entities. And that's exactly why I'm so honored that you've agreed to join the CLA Global Network. It makes us stronger today on day one. And so when you think about the network as a whole, many international networks will celebrate the fact that they have hundreds of member firms. What's going to be different about the CLA Global Network is we will have firms in key economies that our clients need us to be in, where our people want to have mobility events, and where we feel we can impact the communities in a very positive way. So we will maybe have 30 to 40 very tight-knit member firms that can band together so we can do things like share ideas. How are we doing things here in Singapore? And my team and I had the benefit of spending the day here in the office, and we were thinking of new ideas. What can we learn from CLA here, from CLA Global TS here, and bring to the United States? Probably, Andrew, you thought of some things that you may want to bring back to Europe as well. That's one way that we will work together. So whether it's technology, whether it's people, serving clients across borders, very, very excited. And specifically here, this is the gateway to Asia. There are a lot of companies and a lot of people in the United States in particular, and I know in Europe, that are very interested in how to properly serve the Asian markets. And this is extremely important to our global network, to our people, and to our clients.
Thank you so much, Ms. Leary. Indeed, it does sound like being stronger together and also for greater impact in the region. Now, I just want to turn to Mr. Andrew Wilkes from Evelyn Partners. Mr. Wilkes, could you kindly share with us more about Evelyn Partners and its role in CLA Global?
Sure. Firstly, I'd like to say, just to echo what Jen said, we are truly honoured to be here from Evelyn Partners at the start of your journey into the CLA Global Network. We're having a great time here.
We are.
Your hospitality is fantastic. Yes. So thank you very much. So Evelyn Partners. We are an integrated wealth management, financial planning and professional services firm. So we provide a range of solutions to private clients and their business interests. And in the UK, that model's quite unique. So there is no other firm that provides a range of services from wealth management all the way through to professional services. So that gives us quite a competitive edge in the market and a really great place for dealing with private clients and their business interests. It means we are quite prominent in the UK. We're the 6th largest professional services firm, and we're one of the largest independent wealth managers in the UK. The firm's been on a bit of a journey actually, because we recently brought 2 businesses together. One was Smith & Williamson, which a lot of you will be familiar with. We've worked for a long time with what was Nexia TS, and the other was Tilney. The firm came together about 18 months ago, and in July of this year we brought the firm together under a single brand, Evelyn Partners, which was a great opportunity for us to really identify to the market as a single brand in the market, a single firm providing great solutions to our chosen market. And of course, at the same time, we were fortunate enough to be co-founders of CLA Global. And really, the most exciting things about that were we were partnering with a firm, CLA, that we had got a long relationship with. We'd been working successfully for many years. We enjoyed working together. We shared the same values as businesses. We shared the same markets. So bringing our firms together to create a new network to work better for the 2 member firms and also future member firms was obvious. It was an obvious and very easy step for us. It was great to start that journey in July, and it's great to see that journey continue. And we look forward to continuing the journey with future member firms.
I think that's an important part too, because as we talk about today, it's a celebration, it's the start, but we've known each other for so long. And I think that's important things to say, that we've been in connection for well over 10 years. So the relationships between the firms that sit before you today are very, very strong. And what else is exciting, Andrew, I like how you talked about the journey started July 1st of this year. So we're not that far into the journey, but already we are a top 15 global network. So when you combine these firms together, we serve well over 140 locations around the globe on this day, which is such a celebration. And then we continue to welcome other firms, like-minded firms, as we continue to grow. But I think the platform that we have even today, less than 6 months in, is something that our clients will see as a benefit, and our people in our communities as well.
Thank you so much to Andrew and Jen for that very unique and exciting perspective. And talking about unique and exciting, I just want to ask, how does CLA Global differentiate itself and its members from the other international networks? Jen, maybe you can take on this question first.
Sure. Well, there's a couple of different things, and maybe, since you spoke about chosen markets, I'll let you have that part.
Okay.
But can I talk a little bit about culture? And I think this is something that's so important. I have a passion around global business personally. I had the opportunity to live in Europe and work in all different parts of the world. And what I have realized is that it's challenging doing business across borders. It just is. And anytime we say it's not, I think we might not be asking the right questions. But the most important thing that I've learned over my years is leading in with culture first. Appreciating the locations that you are serving, appreciating the people, the cultures, and also the communities. And that, I absolutely believe, is a differentiator in the market. When you look at other international networks, they will tell you the size. They're very big on the size. We're in this many countries. We have this many people. Size is important, but what really is important is quality. Quality, sustainability, and leading with culture. And that's why client retention clients stay with our respective firms at an unbelievable rate. We get to serve clients for generations, and that's because we stay up with innovation and we care very much about the culture. So the first thing I would say was a differentiator about our global network we're creating is we are leading with culture. But Andrew, I think the chosen markets is quite unique as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is really important because if you look at Evening Partners, we're very specific about the markets that we want to operate in. And one of the reasons for coming together with CLA was that we shared a passion and a desire to be the best in those markets. So a really important differentiator is that we are going to strive to be the best in our chosen market, which in the UK we broadly call this the middle market. And what that means is that over time we are going to be recognised for that. And as we add member firms, we're going to continue to be recognised for that on a global basis. And that's really important because we don't want to be like everybody else. We want to be something special. We want to be something different, so that for clients in that market, they will want to come to our network. And also for people as well, they'll want to join our firms because that's what we represent. Jen said that we're already a top 10 network firm, and Jen, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we are the largest integrated wealth management, financial planning and professional services firm within the international network community.
I think that has to be true. We'll have to audit that.
That's not a bad start.
Yes. It's a great start. It's a great start.
Maybe I just add on from the perspective of, because when Jeff, it was I think colleagues, Joe, talked to me and say, why not come and be part of this family? And obviously, because we have been with the association linked to the previous network for such a long time, it's really hard for us to make that decision. But I think there's just one thing that make us really keen was actually, I think, the part that it says that we want to focus on the middle market,
yes,
and then we want to focus on owner-managed businesses. And that's exactly what CLA Global TS has been doing, which is always focusing on that owner business, because we think that if we can help the entrepreneurs to grow, and as their business grow, we also grow with them. And so that part really gels with us. And of course, the fact that we can get the opportunity to also grow our regional footprint under this current arrangement, that is really wonderful and exciting for all of us.
Thank you so much. It's just really amazing to hear from all three of you how we're going to be moving forward with quality, sustainability, leading with culture, and of course, leveraging on the global network. And talking about leveraging on this global network, I just want to ask, what are some of the current geographical markets covered by CLA Global? Just want to find out more about it. I'm sure the audience is excited to know as well in a little bit more detail. We'll start with Jen. Can you tell us more about our geographical markets?
Sure. I'll start with our geographic markets in the US, and we'd happy to answer questions. But we have locations in over 120 different locations in the United States. And similar to what Henry just shared, we are focused on privately held businesses and their owners and their families. It's very, very important to CLA, and it's different in the US than any other firm of our size. And we have around 8,000 people in the United States as well. So we're a large firm in the US. We are in markets that are the large metropolitan markets that you've heard of, like Los Angeles, like New York, Las Vegas, different parts of the country, Chicago you're very familiar with, but we're also in a lot of parts of the country that maybe you haven't heard of, different parts of Wisconsin, different parts of Indiana, because that's where privately held businesses are manufacturing, that's where there's a lot of technology going on. And so the balance of the locations we have in the US are both major metropolitans and what we call maybe a community-based market, and that's because that meets the demographics of the clients that we serve.
Thank you so much, Jen. And I want to ask Andrew about UK by the Evening Partners. Can you tell us about the geographical market there?
Yeah, so in the UK includes the countries of England, Scotland and Wales, but we also operate in Ireland. Now, Ireland is very important because since the UK left the EU, Ireland is still in the EU, so the EU, Ireland is the gateway we have to operating in the EU. And we also operate through Jersey as well. Jersey is very important in the financial services sector. It's important to note, though, that effectively in the UK, our office network has national coverage, so we can cover the whole of the UK. It's a lot smaller than America, so we don't need as many offices. But also our client base is international. We don't just deal with UK businesses, we don't just deal with UK individuals, we deal with multinationals, multinational businesses, and also internationally mobile people. With wealth, with assets, with businesses, etc. So even in the UK, it is very much a global operation, and that's why a strong network, is really, really important.
That's great.
I completely agree. And talking about strong network, the network's only going to get stronger with the new unveiling of today's CLA Global TS, expanding to places like Singapore, China, and Malaysia. To know more about that, let's hear from Mr. Henry Tan. Can you tell us about some of our plans ahead for CLA Global TS?
Yeah, I think both the gentleman and the lady is very humble. Actually, if you just look into their firm, they are a size that is just amazing. If I can say that their revenue is in excess of $1 billion, in excess. I won't give the exact numbers. So for us in Singapore, as a firm here, obviously is not of that size, but we are so privileged to be invited as the Asia main firm on this side of the world. And we see that as a huge opportunity for us because the world is so connected, and I think everyone is looking at how to look for opportunities. That's including the staff, including the clients. And if we have that just sitting here, just only 3 integrated firms that can really share that opportunities is just amazing. And so for us, we already have our footprint in obviously Singapore, Malaysia, and China. But we have huge ambition to grow, especially in Indonesia, Vietnam, and the other parts of Southeast Asia. So this current opportunity allow us to start putting up offices in these places or form joint ventures in these areas, and to basically be able to offer that linkage for this business here and the US and UK and Europe as a whole.
That's wonderful.
That's absolutely awesome. I really love that, just using Singapore as a gateway to Asia and expanding into the region. Great, exciting expansion plans ahead. Now, one last question I have for Mr. Tan before we actually open up to the floor for any questions that you might have. Now, we understand that CLA Global TS will be celebrating its 30th anniversary next year. Could you share with us how has this whole journey been, and how does the firm intend to celebrate and mark 30 years? What a milestone.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, so we started in 1993, and I still remember when we first started, it was in a little office that perhaps is maybe just 1/3 of the size of this site. So that's how we started in 1993. And I still remember at one time, one of the clients who came to look for us, because we were in an area where there's lots of pubs. And they were wondering what kind of accounting or professional firm this is. But I must say that after meeting the people, so that's why I keep saying the people, they realized that we are really professional and we mean what we say, and we don't overpromise as well. And that really was the start of that journey. And along the way, we gathered like-minded people. Some of you can see all of them, young people, like-minded. And I think very important is that we are very authentic, we are personable. And that's a common experience that we see for people working with us. And with that journey, is something that we always remember also is that we need to continue to give back to the community. So therefore, we are quite huge in offering scholarships, bursary to financial needy person. Of course, being in accounting, we focus on the accounting students, but if we can do more, we could, but that is the main area. And with that focus. We have some of our institution here representative, and we are also going to do further, especially for those who are in the local business environment. You will know about the Institute of Technical Education, ITE for short, and we have guests from ITE here. Thank you so much. And we are working with ITE to look at how we can also offer opportunities for internships in the firm, in our regional office or other places, and to help them to have another pathway towards becoming a profession as well. So I think it's so exciting that this 30 years has brought us not only to create winning opportunities for our people, for our clients, but also for our communities.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Henry Tan. Really excited to hear that CLA Global TS is planning some of these wonderful, thoughtful CSR efforts and finding new ways to impact our communities even as we expand. At this point, I'd like to open up the session to welcome any questions from the floor. If you have any questions, you can just raise your hand, introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, and what your question might be. Do we have any questions from the floor? Just raise a hand if you do. Any questions? I think there are no questions. So, with that, because the explanation was so clear and succinct, right?
That's right. That's right.
No other questions, but if you do have any questions, not to worry, our three wonderful VIPs, Henry, Andrew, and Jen will be here, and we'll be having a lunch reception very shortly. If not, without further ado, how about a big round of applause for our panel?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.